This3DLife. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to This 3D Life, episode 41. My name's Nick Cascarella, and with me, across the table, as always, Shano.
Hello.
How's it going?
Ooh, sorry, buddy.
Right off the bat, fucking up.
Scaring the dog.
All right.
What?
So, last week's episode, we had a lot of fun doing, but apparently we did something special because we had a spike in viewership, which is fantastic. But because of that, I just want to say hi if you're new.
Hi.
And I'm excited that you decided to check it out.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, but
Don't go.
Don't go. Listen, we might say something you like. Probably not.
If I say something you don't like, continue to listen. Something good might come later.
Might. This is like a big if, but
don't let me discourage you.
Right.
Continue to listen.
Yeah, welcome, and we're happy you checked it out. But it's also good you checked it out because we got news about the podcast / more.
Right.
So we have been working on and kind of loosely talked about, that we started a YouTube channel that has a few videos up right now, where actually you can get this podcast now on the YouTube channel, and you can also get the other This 3D Life podcast, This is Wrestling, on the YouTube channel if you are into that kind of thing. Some people like listening to them on YouTube, and now you can do that. There's videos. It's not videos of... Soon we are going to be doing videos of us. We're going to be doing a video podcast that you can also get as the MP3, but also there will be a video. But as of right now, it's just kind of like album artwork, and then the audio of the podcast. But you can catch it there right now.
It will become video, though.
It will, right, in
For
the future.
sure. Certainly. Don't
Not too
be like,
terrible.
why would I do that? I'll just listen. I mean, it will become...
Video.
Soon.
Soonish. When I can work out the logistics of...
Yeah. We're fingers crossed for after PAX South.
Right. That's what we're shooting for.
That's what we're shooting
We got
for.
PAX South in 2 weeks.
It's next week.
It's next week.
Not next week's episode. So it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this episode.
Right.
Will
And
be the PAX South episode. And that won't be video.
That won't be video, but that one is going to be fun because we are going to be recording it there, and we are going to have...
We may post videos from there.
Right, we might post some videos from there of stuff that we're doing, but the PAX South episode is going to be fun. We're going to be recording in Texas with some people on the show. Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun. But also, besides the YouTube channel where you can now get this material, you can also go... temporarily right now at this3dlife.wordpress.com. Pretty soon everything will be all together under one link. I'm working on it. I'm sorry it's not all together. But for now, go to this3dlife.wordpress.com, and there everything is going to be posted.
Yeah.
That is going to be where everything is. And eventually it'll all be under one URL. That way I don't have to give you a million things to go to. And you can just go to, eventually, not now, this3dlife.com. Right now, that'll take you straight to the podcast, which is great. You can go there and listen to what you're listening to right now.
You're confusing the people.
I know. But on the WordPress, we are going to be posting articles about stuff we like. Or stuff we
hate.
Yeah, that's right. So stuff we have opinions on. There won't be reviews there. There might be review-like articles where, say,
there is one up.
Right, there is one up. But it's not a review. At the end, I don't give you a score. Or you wrote the article. You don't give a score.
Yeah.
We don't want to write articles like that. It's going to be, come here, read this, and by the end of it, you will get an idea of what the game is like and how I feel about it.
Right.
And then you can interpret that as you want. Because and Shauna is dropping the mic. That was a half mic drop.
Drop the mic.
And you'll be able to then come to your own conclusion, like, this sounds like something I would be into, and I agree, I like these things also, right. So I'd probably like this game. Or these are things I also hate, so I probably wouldn't like this game.
Right.
You need me to move the light?
I do.
Yes. We have our lighting situation we've been streaming a lot more, and so the lighting is...
It's not podcast worthy.
No, so there's like lights shining in our eyes.
Not yours. Mine.
No, yours. So yes, this3dlife.wordpress.com. That's where you go. You get the articles. Also, I post the YouTube videos up there, and you can get links at the bottom to the different podcasts. The last few episodes of the podcast are posted at the bottom of the page. You can get to the Twitter, the Facebook. Everything's going to be there. So you can just go there and get everything. And then go over to the YouTube and subscribe to that YouTube channel, and you get to watch the videos.
Woo!
Yep. And then we're going to be... I've been streaming a lot more regularly. Shauna and I are going to be streaming more regularly together. And then also Josh, who is writing for the blog and has been on the show before. And if you are tweeting and he tweets and we tweet back at you, it's probably Josh.
Yeah, Josh runs our social media.
And on top of that, he will be streaming also. But it will all be at the Twitch handle, This3DLife. That's where everything's going to come. So you can go and follow that Twitch channel.
There's a chance we're constantly going to be streaming.
Right, and that's the goal is that, like, at any
You'll
time...
never get me streaming alone. I can promise you that.
I think eventually you'll get into it.
That requires me putting on, like, makeup and stuff.
Not necessarily, but... I think
when do I have time to play video games? It's, like... early in the morning on weekends when you're like still asleep.
Right.
It's like, ooh, I get like tiptoe in like Krampus, and then
so that I don't wake.
Yeah, and then I like
you don't
sit
wake
down,
the slumbering giant.
Yeah, and then I sit down and I play some video games, and then you come in and you're like, let me play, and you snatch the
right out of your hands, and so most of the time I hit you with it to make sure that you don't get up.
Then I get like a Patrick-sized lump on the top of my head. And, where's my beverage?
Exactly, you left it over there.
Damn it!
Is that you telling me you want me to get up and get it? I can do that. You just have to not stop speaking the entire time that I'm up.
Okay, well, we'll move on then. Okay, so the, unimportantly, it's actually, some people would consider, how's your toe?
It hurts.
Some people would consider it important. I want the open one. The Golden Globes was yesterday.
No, Total Divas was last night.
Total Divas was last night. We don't talk about that on this podcast anymore.
No.
We used to, but now it's its own podcast, so now I don't do that. So,
but I still watched Total Divas last night.
Yes, it was bad. It was a bad episode. I can say that much. I don't care about whatever faces
Doesn't
name
matter.
is vagina. Anyway, the Golden Globes were last night. We didn't watch most of the things that were nominated for Golden Globes.
Right. Yeah, so a lot of it, me and you were like, I have no idea if this was good or not.
Right. We wanted to watch all of it.
There's not enough time, especially lately we've been lacking a lot in the...
movie department?
Well, in the everything department, because we've been working a lot on trying to get like the blog together and everything.
I've also been literally working a lot.
Right, on top of the fact that we work.
You don't work a lot.
That's not true. I've been working more.
Lately. I've been working a ton.
Right, and then on top of that, trying to get this done and also maintain some sort of a social life.
I don't know about a social life.
Attempting to maintain some sort of social life, and then also play the games that we want to play and stream, and
Yeah, well, and it's also frigid, and I don't feel once I get home, I really just don't feel like leaving.
Right.
To sit in the movies.
Right, that also.
Like. And
it's been very cold.
And a lot of the like cool movies that come out only play at this one movie theater on Cape Cod, where one movie plays at a time.
Yeah, it's like an art house.
It's like an art house, and the chairs are miserable. And there was a period in time where it just didn't have heat.
Yeah, and so people would bring blankets.
Yeah, so you like literally there were certain days in the winter where you just like
you're like I
can't go to the movies
because it's literally Arctic.
Just too cold. But, like, it's still cold. It's still
cold. It would
cold.
be like viewing it inside of an igloo.
Yeah. The heat still just doesn't work
isn't
well.
Like the inside of an igloo warm?
Right.
How does that work? Why is it warm in an igloo?
Physics.
The ice is cold. The snow below you is cold. How is it warm in the igloo?
Physics.
That doesn't explain anything.
It must have to do with the way you close off, like seal off the entrance and the oxygen.
You mean like the little tube thing that comes off
it creates like an oxygen bubble, like that.
Well, then I think it might
gas bounces around and it creates energy.
Right. That and maybe the fact like
all right. You know how we apologized for conveying incorrect information?
This is definitely incorrect.
Some science nerd is sitting at home going, "These fucking idiots are."
It's like the most simple fucking thing.
Igloos.
But so you're telling me that the dome of the igloo, the
I think that its shape has something to do with
right,
it.
the Mario tube that comes off the front of the igloo,
right, yeah,
has something to do with keeping the heat in.
The whole shape as a whole, yeah. And
Biodome
and
with
something
the Mario tube.
right, and something about like because gas it's unstable, so like all the molecules bounce around really fast, and it might create like a warmer. I'm literally pulling this out of my ass. I could be correct.
I'm gonna go with no on this one.
Someone's gonna be like, "No, Sean is actually correct. It's like this."
Is that what people when they tweet at you? It's just like space space.
No one tweets at me.
All right, I won't argue that.
Hey, what were we talking about before we talk? Okay, so yeah, we don't watch movies, but there were a lot of movies.
Instead, we argue about igloos.
There were a lot of movies I wanted to watch, so I'll just go through the winners really quick, and we'll talk about if we saw it and if we liked it, and if there was a movie that we thought deserved to win more than that movie. Best Motion Picture Drama, Boyhood won. We didn't see that movie.
We wanted to see it.
I really wanted to see that movie. It played at the Arctic...
The freezing house.
The Arctic Theater for like a week.
At the Igloo Theater.
During the summer, though.
Then it's insanely hot.
It's insanely hot. And those chairs are wildly uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's no, like, cushion on them.
And they're like...
Like, we're making this place sound like it's awful, but if you were to walk in, you'd be like, this place is fucking cool. It's like these huge cathedral ceilings with paintings all over the ceilings.
The seats suck.
Yeah, the seats are no
They're
good.
like bad picnic table
and there's
seats.
no heat. Or there might be heat now, but there were at one time was no heat.
And it's bad heat.
The heat is bad.
It's ancient heat. It's an ancient heating system.
They're summoning it from an ancient tomb.
There's like a mage that just like sparks a fire in the corner. And
Ancient
there you
heat.
go. Anyway, Best Motion Picture Drama, Boyhood. It's a Richard Linklater film. Filming took place over the course of 12 years.
And like that, like a lot of people were like, that's the draw on this movie. Like, it's good. I mean, I read a bunch of things that were like, this movie is good. It is not as good as the hype around it, but the fact that the commitment of the project makes the project.
Right. He won Best Director, and I think that he absolutely deserves it. Based on the fact that he committed 12 years of his life to this one project and still created other films in between.
Right. Well, I mean, how much did he shoot each year on that? Probably like a couple weekends, and that was it. So obviously,
I'm sure he shot more than that because you have to think like if you're only doing it over the course of 12, if you're doing it a little bit at a time over the course of 12 years, you have to think of how much time you have to think about what you shot and like how much it sucked. You know what I mean?
Well, that would be my concern about that project because we do things all the time and like
second guessing yourself.
Right. If we don't just like post them or put it out
or like coming up with new ideas,
it would never come out because
right.
Because I would like sit there and be like, no, we have to change that.
Absolutely.
And so at some point you just have to be like, nope, that's what it is, and I have to put it out.
Yeah.
Like
Best Motion Picture Comedy, Grand Budapest Hotel. That was one of my favorite.
I don't know what else
was
nominated. But I loved that movie, so I'm happy about it.
I feel like we didn't see any of the other movies that were nominated.
So it doesn't matter. But that movie rocked.
Yeah. Best Animated Feature, How to Train Your Dragon 2 won. We did not see that. I haven't even seen the first one.
Was nominated?
Big Hero 6 was nominated. Also the Lego Movie.
Okay.
I think...
Both of those were like, from like an art standpoint, were incredible.
Right.
So, and the How to Train Your Dragon 2... Like, that art style was done in the first one. I don't know. It's like, these two movies were new ideas, new art styles, that were crazy impressive.
Right.
Like the Lego Movie is psychotically impressive.
Right.
I would have chosen that. Let the dog out before he has a fucking freak out.
I don't know what he's freaking out about. Best Drama Series was The Affair. I haven't seen it. I don't know what it was about. The only other show that was nominated that we had seen... Can you close the door?
Well, he's going to scratch in 2 seconds.
Okay. I just don't want anybody to yell up is the issue. Whatever. If you hear a parent yell up, say, hi, Mom. Ooh.
Just continue.
Hope we don't lose power. The only other show that we had seen in the drama series was Game of Thrones, and I don't think that I think it's like now at this point where it's like they just nominate
Show's wildly overrated.
Right. They just nominate it.
I mean, I enjoy it, but it is overrated.
I absolutely agree. I mean, and you know how dedicated I am to the book series, and I agree. I don't even think it should be nominated for awards anymore.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's
like actor specific,
right, or unless like the season as a whole is like outstanding, like
which this one wasn't.
It wasn't really like
I enjoyed
was
season
this the
3.
season?
This was season 4. Season 3 was the better one, the Red Wedding.
Was the season that just aired the one where the Dink had his great mom?
Yes, it was.
All right, that was awesome.
The
but
Dink,
that was just him.
I don't think the Dink was nominated.
Right, which is complete horse.
The Dink was nominated last year
because his monologue in that one episode was like the standout scene in the entire season.
It's like some of the best television.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yeah, it was great.
But anyway, what's your next one? What do you got?
Now, I know you have a lot to say about this one.
No.
Best comedy or musical series?
I don't have a lot to say because I didn't see the other ones.
Transparent won.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Me either, but I know you know what should you think you know what should have won.
Right, but I like it's
well, we
know
Girls was nominated. Girls is a great show.
Girls
Veep
is a great
was nominated, which we haven't seen, but I've only heard amazing things.
Right.
Silicon Valley, it's a lot of HBO shows.
Well, they seem to have.
They just released another show today.
I mean, they've always been all right. You have to like go back. Sopranos. What was that? 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
Of course I'm drawing a blank now, but like HBO, like always.
The Wire.
The Wire was a huge one. Just always these like great shows that like people love. I mean, The Sopranos. People say The Sopranos is like single-handedly why television is as like dramatic and intense and like people
effective,
right, as it is now. Is like people were like, wow, we can really take this far, like as shown by The Sopranos.
Right. I don't know what this transparent show is.
I don't either. I really would like to check it out because I love Silicon Valley and I thought that show was absolutely.
And I love Girls. Girls is one of my favorite TV shows. That actually aired. The season premiere was this week.
All right, well you can go check it out later.
I know.
But
it's a show that like I have a hard time watching at work though.
Yeah.
It's a little inappropriate.
I would say. But Silicon Valley was very good. I'm glad they at least got nominated because I think that was a big step for them. Oh sure, I mean first season of it's a brand new show, a brand new
with
idea.
all like small.
Yeah, and the idea of the show itself is like pretty like the audience that they're targeting is not huge,
right?
And the fact that the audience took the show and really elevated it, and the fact that the show writing, the acting, everything about it elevated.
It had a tough slot.
It didn't have right after Game of Thrones, like
right before Veep.
Right before Veep. So like a lot of people kind of, I mean, it's kind of a good slot because people are already on the channel, and a lot of people are gonna come back for Veep, so they might as well check it out.
Right, but it's like if it was bad.
Was that show a half hour?
Yes.
Was it really?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And Veep is also a half hour.
Really?
Yep.
I'm shocked.
By the way, they have the same time slots.
Same time slots?
This time around. And
same length, the shows?
Same length for the shows, and they air on April 12th.
That I knew. I tweeted about it. I was very excited.
It's like a couple days before your birthday.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that Silicon Valley's back on April 12th. Like, it's happy birthday
Sunday
to me.
before your birthday.
Yeah, like happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
But
it's your birthday on a Sunday.
But shit. What was it? Oh no, I think the fact that a show that was aimed at such a small audience with hopes that it could grab the attention of other people, got nominated for a Golden Globe means that they did what they set out to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And that's awesome because
sure.
the show is definitely worth watching. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially if you listen to this podcast and you like what we talk about, then you would fucking probably like that show.
Love that show.
Yeah.
I know some app developers had a hard time with it.
Right, because it does like glamorize and glorify and
it also sometimes makes
light of things and
yeah.
But I mean, you have to. It's satirical of like tech culture, like
right. It's entirely satirical.
Yeah, of tech culture. But the best part is that
and
everyone
techies.
everyone that's in the show though is like into that cult. You know what I mean?
They about that life.
Right. Exactly. They about that life is like the best way. It's all these people like known like very big into video games, into technology, into, I mean, obviously comedy and stuff, which, like, nowadays comedy and, like, nerd culture are, like, basically in the same fucking category.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, the show is very good. It did, I think, better than HBO probably thought it was going to do.
I would assume so.
So I don't know. I'm glad they at least got nominated. Like, I think getting nominated is definitely good enough.
Yeah, well, like you said, I mean, being nominated and winning even, but being nominated in a category with something it makes you want to check it out.
Right. I know.
You want to check out the nominees. Yeah.
Right. It puts it in.
Like, I want to check out the winners, but I also want to check out the other nominees sometimes.
Right.
There are certain times where I'm like, that doesn't, like the show The Affair, that absolutely does not interest me. I don't care to watch a show about marriage.
Right,
affair.
that, like, everyone's cheating on each other and, like,
That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a drama series, but still.
It's a drama. It's not even a like, it would be one thing if they made it like a comedy type situation.
Yeah.
But as a drama, it just sounds like irritating. Like, I don't know.
Get a divorce. Stop cheating.
Exactly.
On each
Yeah.
other.
Just get a divorce.
Fuck all of you. You guys are skanks. Anyway.
Next one.
Best TV, movie, or miniseries. Can you guess what one?
TV, movie, or miniseries?
Yeah.
Fuck me. I can't even think of
Fargo.
any. Fargo. Okay. Yeah.
And not that we're doing actors or anything, but Billy Bob Thornton won in that category.
Yeah, that's another show I wish I checked out.
Yeah,
it's
the
just
miniseries.
like, yeah. I really wanted to check it out.
Yeah,
but
and supporting actor in a TV movie was Matt Bomer, who was in The Normal Heart, which everybody on this podcast has heard me gush about before.
Right, yes.
So I'm not going to go in depth.
Right, but you were a big fan.
Yeah. And then finally, George Clooney won some crazy, like, Lifetime Achievement Award.
Right. And it was...
It was actually sweet.
Right, because, I don't know, like, I guess when you do think about, like, your stereotypical A-list celebrity, I guess it is, like, George Clooney. You know what I mean? And he seemed pretty, like, down to earth about the whole thing. And...
Absolutely. I mean, he used the moment to not just talk about himself, but about his humanitarian efforts and and causes, and about Charlie Hebdo and about what's going on in Paris. He didn't really use it to, you know,
it's weird.
He
we
used
like
that
just watched it.
moment.
I can't really remember any of it.
Yeah. He didn't use the moment
like
to really talk about himself all that much, which was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's something. I saw someone posted something about, like, if you don't cry when you get an award, I assume that they should have just given it to someone else. It's like,
oh my god,
these people know.
Listen, I don't fucking cry.
And with Lifetime Achievement Awards and stuff, they know that they're gonna get it.
Right.
Because, like, George Clooney wasn't nominated for anything. Why else would he have been there?
Like,
George Clooney. Like,
I don't think I would cry if I received an award. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, this rocks.
Yeah.
Like
a Lifetime Achievement Award. George Clooney. Do you know how many awards George
in his
Clooney,
lifetime he's received?
Yeah. And, like, dude is so happy in life and has seen so many darker things than an award. Like, they showed footage of him standing over a burnt, charred body in Darfur.
Right.
And you think an award is going to make him cry?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it could. You know what I mean? People...
I know, but it's to say he doesn't deserve it because of
right,
that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Like, oh, get over yourself.
Yeah, what else?
Yeah.
Is that all you have for the...
That's what I have for the fucking Golden Globes.
Because we didn't really watch it, and...
No, we were very tired.
Well, no, I was fucking demanding that you switch back every 5 seconds to watch Total Divas.
Yeah, well, and I'm not talking about the actors and actresses who won and their shit, or like the
and their shit
foreign language or anything like that. You can Google that.
Go ahead and Google it.
Yeah. So we just watched TV to catch up for the week. First, let's talk about Gotham. Gotham's back from its 2 week break.
Yeah, it wasn't gone very long.
That's great.
Well, also you got to think maybe it was gone longer. Me and you just like caught up on.
That's true.
On the
no, because I feel like everything else is gone until February.
Yeah, it might have only taken a couple for the holidays, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's great because I really can't handle that, like not having something to watch. But then again, Revenge is already back, so it could have just been for the holidays.
Right.
Anyway, we watched Gotham.
That show rocks.
Yeah, Jim Gordon's.
Dude, that show's so...
Yeah.
Like, I really like it.
I know and there are a lot of things I fucking hate about that show. There are a lot of aspects of that show that I'm like, God fucking damn it, just stop. Ivy Pepper, we were talking about it. That character sucks dick.
Yeah, the character's like
it's an 11-year-old character, and I just said it sucked dick.
Definitely my least favorite part of the whole show. And I acknowledge wholeheartedly that they take lots of liberties with the show.
Some of them are good and some of them are bad, and that one is god-awful.
God-awful. So I know a lot of people are like, they fucked up all of the Batman everything. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, technically...
most of it.
Right, and I'm like, technically, yes, they did. But for a television show that is on Fox, that they...
has little or nothing to do with DC.
Right, it doesn't have anything to do with any of the other things going on. It's a standalone thing. It's a good show.
I enjoy watching it.
Like, I like it. Yeah. I enjoy it. It's different. It's a different look at things. And that's like a lot of times when people like freak out about, you know, like especially in the DC universe. So if you're like that hellbent on like, they fucked everything up. It's one of the many, it's a different universe in the DC. What do they call it? The multiverse?
Yeah.
There you go. Have fun. Argue that one. You can't. Because
DC
it has infinite universes.
Yeah, that's canon.
Yes. So you can't say that it doesn't exist because it does in one of the many universes in the multiverse of the DC universe. That's a lot of verse.
Except I don't think that Gotham's DC canon.
Right.
But
I know.
But still,
I'm making an argument for the argument of
I'm sure if it gets enough success and fame, they'll make it.
Yeah,
they'll partner and they'll do a comic series.
There might already even. I mean, the show itself is kind of loosely based on.
Loosely.
The GCPD comic that came out a while ago. Yeah, I know.
But I think I agree with you. I think it's a fun show.
It's a fun to watch show.
Like, I thought it was a good episode.
And when shit pops up, that you're like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And sometimes it pops up and you're like, oh, that's fucking cool. And then they do it weird and you're like, well, it wasn't great, but it was cool that they tried it.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing the takes. Like the Black Mask one was like neat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what happened at the end of that episode though. Like, there's no way that character's gone. The Black Mask. I don't remember. So I don't really remember. But I thought it was cool. It was like a cool take on it. It was like this like all like blacked out like samurai warrior mask and like I don't know. It was different. It's like I don't know. A different take on material I've already seen. If I wanted to see shit that I've already read or existed, I would just reread it.
Right.
Like it's a
things have to be
it's a new experience. Yeah. And you just have to take it.
Switch it up.
You have to take it for what it is. Yeah. It's a new experience. They're trying new things. You know, so much material already exists in that universe that you have to like shake it up, or you're just recycling yourself. Because I mean, there's things in the universe that already recycle themselves. That you know what I mean? There's like recycled shit that is like canon in the books.
Yeah,
that's just recycled from other shit. Right. Like so. Take liberties and make it entertaining for the viewer, and you know sometimes it's not going to be a home run, but other times it is. For the most part the show is enjoyable.
I agree. I want to talk about something better though.
What?
Agent Carter.
You really liked it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it or not.
Really? At all?
I'm up. Yeah, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
She's
good. I don't know. Here's the deal. I'm at this point where, with that show, I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure. But if I decide that I'm sure about it, like, if I decide that I don't like it, it's not going to be like I hate it. I just don't really care for it. If I decide that I like it, I might love it.
She's like really great.
She's very good. I like the setting. I like the kind of how dumbed down they make all of the men that she works with. Like,
like all of the male characters are like stupid.
Like stupid, and it's awesome because that is like a pretty accurate
like she's
portrayal.
Consistently like even Jarvis.
Right.
Like she's even like constantly.
But I mean, then
him.
there was even that scene though where Jarvis is kind of playing dumb.
Right.
Like they're leading her. Oh, this is like spoiler territory, I guess. We might touch on some spoilers, light ones. So if you don't want to hear any light spoilers about fucking Agent Carter, then skip ahead a little bit. I don't know, a few minutes. But
we'll put a timestamp.
I'll try to remember to put a timestamp. So Jarvis, there's this scene where Jarvis is...
this isn't a light spoiler. This is a spoiler.
It doesn't really reveal anything about the overall story, though.
Okay.
It's like, you know, he kind of seems dumb and like he's not really competent and stuff. But then there's a scene where he's like stitching her up and she's like, wow, you're really good at that. And like, he's like, oh, and like kind of gives some like really shitty excuses to like why he knows how to do it well. And then he's like tailing her at some point and is on the phone with Stark and kind of lets it, you know, through like ominous dialogue, lets it be known that he's like playing dumb with her.
Yeah.
But other than that, all the male characters are fucking stupid. They're like dumb.
Like actually dumb. Chad Michael Murray being in it.
Right.
Nick and I are sitting there and we're like
both of us not wanting to say, is that Chad Michael Murray? And then both of us simultaneously going, I think that's Chad Michael Murray.
And then he started talking and I recognized his voice from One Tree Hill. The Xbox is on.
Yeah, because I was watching Twitch earlier.
But yeah,
the
I think it's good. There are problems. Like the problem being that I don't know that there's a problem in the show.
Well, the problem is that like Stark's weapons are out in the open and she's getting them back. Like but that to me is like hardly cause for a whole show. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, I believe this is the build up to S.H.I.E.L.D., like making S.H.I.E.L.D.,
right? And
like she's gonna be like a founder of S.H.I.E.L.D. and blah blah
right.
blah.
Clearly
with Stark and blah blah, like whatever. But the current threat is just kind of like all these like crazy weapons that Stark made. Like
it just doesn't seem.
I gotta go get them. Like
it doesn't seem like impending enough. You know?
No, it doesn't. Like,
and that's what I think the biggest problem, the biggest detriment of the show is.
Right, she's good.
She's fantastic.
She kicks butt.
The acting on the show is great. The set is great, and I think it rivals the set on Gotham.
Yeah,
like the set.
I mean, it's a completely different tone, but yeah, I get you.
It's similar though.
I mean, yes, Gotham.
I'm still unsure about what time period Gotham takes place.
I don't know either, because like some stuff is like dated, and then they have like smartphones.
Right. But most of it's pretty dated.
Right, like everything except for their smartphones are dated.
Like the buildings are all very ancient architecture.
Right. Which I mean, it kind of adds to the character of Gotham.
Right.
You know, because a lot of times people, when they're dissecting the Batman universe, they say that like
and like the medicine is all like it's not modernized at all.
Right.
Like
yeah.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything except for the smartphones, really.
Pretty much.
Even the weapons.
Yeah, and cars and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't quite know what they're going with.
I don't think they thought it through.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like you have to take writing in a certain direction, and they're like, are they going to have smartphones or not? Because that changes everything.
Right.
Like old shows where you would have to like call the like headquarters and be like, can you look this up for me? And now in shows where people have smartphones, they're like, hold on, I'm looking it up. And like tap on their phone for a second. They're like, nope, it's right here. Like,
right.
Whereas in other shows, half the show would be like, we're waiting to hear back from someone at HQ because they have to go to a library and look through the Rolodex and figure out.
Yeah. Supernatural had that problem for a couple shows, seasons. But anyway, I really liked Agent Carter. I thought thus far, I mean, there were 2 episodes, and I think they aired on one night.
I think it was last week that show aired.
Yeah, 2 episodes in one night.
Really?
Yeah, I think I did a double feature.
I hate that.
Why?
That's too much. Like, if I was going to sit down and watch that, it's like Raw. Raw is too long. It's 3 hours. It's bullshit.
All right, we don't talk about that on this show. Anyway, you made another podcast. I'm not included. Anyway, during Agent Carter premiere, the Ant-Man teaser.
Is that the one where they showed the ant-sized trailer and then the regular human-sized trailer?
Did you not see it?
Well, I saw the human-sized trailer, but I know that they released like a week prior the ant-sized trailer, which is adorable and great marketing. And it was the same trailer, just if you were to, like, let's say on your computer, like, pull it up, it's like a tiny little square in the middle of your screen.
No.
Like, teensy tiny,
No.
and it's the same trailer as the big one.
No.
What do you mean, no?
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know, but that what I'm telling you is that this is what happened.
Okay.
There was a tiny trailer, and then a week later they released the real trailer.
Okay.
And it was the same trailer.
Okay.
Just big.
Okay.
And that
Well,
aired...
will you talk to me about the trailer itself?
Yes, I'm getting there. And it aired at, during that fucking show?
Yeah.
Okay, what about it?
Well, did you see it?
Yes, I watched it.
Okay. What'd you think of it? Because there was that, 10-second teaser.
Right, and then there was the real trailer.
It's still a teaser. It's still very short.
Right, but it gives you a lot more. Like, Michael Douglas talking is badass.
Talking a lot about Paul Rudd's daughter. Literally the entire time about...
Well, it's not necessarily... It's trying to convince him to
be Ant-Man.
To be Ant-Man.
But by saying that it's talking about his daughter the whole time.
Right, by saying, like, you're kind of a piece of shit, but you can be the hero that your daughter believes that you are.
Right.
Because he's just like a thief. Mm-hmm. That's all he is.
I need you to be the Ant-Man.
Right, I need you to be the... Now, parts that I liked about the trailer were... I mean, there's nothing I disliked about the trailer. I just am a little confused on the tone of the movie. Like, for instance, because this was the last one, Guardians came out, right? You knew what the tone of the movie was going in. The trailer did a great job with the tone of the movie. And you knew going into that. This one looks like... the trailer portrayed it, like, pretty seriously... Like, very serious, like, all the way through the whole thing, right? But then, at the end, you're like, well, Paul Rudd's the fucking main guy here, and he's the funny, he brings the laughs.
Yeah, but Paul Rudd can play serious.
Right, he can, but, I think people were expecting his character to...
What about the Iron Man 3 trailer?
Well, hold on. And then at the end, they throw a little curveball at you, and he... Michael Douglas is giving the whole thing. He's like, I want you to be the Ant-Man, and, like, you can be the blah, blah, the hero that I know you can be, and all this. And then the last scene is, you get a little bit where this is where I'm confused. I don't know if they're going to go for, like, a comedy thing, or just kind of, like, pepper comedy into the movie, where he asks Michael Douglas if it's too late to change the name.
Right.
Which I thought was funny, and it, like, shows that his character is, like, this kind of sarcastic.
It might just be, like, dry humor.
Like... Right. But I thought that was very a good.
Yeah.
Like, he tells us, like, the Ant-Man, and he, like, shows Paul Rudd, and he's like, really? Like...
Well, because, I mean, the thing is, I think people are expecting him to be funny, but how do you expect something to be funny when there's this big, like, threat against the United States?
Well, I mean, the Guardians was hysterical, and that was bigger than the United... That was, like... potentially, like, could have destroyed...
I also cried in Guardians, and I've never cried in a Marvel movie before.
During which one? During what part?
Well, the opening scene, mainly.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that was pretty...
intense.
Yeah.
Also, when Groot, like, explodes...
Explodes because somehow they managed to, like, make an animated raccoon portray, like, more emotion than a lot of actors can do.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like, no, not when he explodes, when he's, like, wrapping them up in his, like, cocoon, and, like, Rocket's like, no, don't, you'll die.
Yeah.
I cried.
You also... Let's not like make you crying at things out to be this big feat. Okay.
I've never cried in another Marvel movie.
All right. I don't think any other ones have really warranted. This is the first one I've watched where I thought it was, like, really warranted.
It's the best one.
Yeah, that's...
But what I'm saying is that, like, Guardians of the Galaxy invokes every emotional response.
Yeah, they
and
did
no
a really
other
good job
Marvel.
with that.
It's a different. You can't compare any other Marvel movie to Guardians of the Galaxy. including the ones to come.
Right, but
Because I think it's
but what that movie
it's
did,
more special.
We're right, but what that movie did is it set a new standard for the.
Well, that's stupid because nothing's gonna.
That's not true. Like that's not.
Ant-Man's not gonna peak it.
It could. You don't know. It
I
could.
promise you, it won't peak it.
I mean, there's. I'm not.
I think the chance is slim to none.
I'm not saying that.
I can already tell you the cast is too weak to peak it.
Maybe. I mean. They fucking announced Dave Bautista was going to be in that movie, and he ended up being better than everyone thought. You have to remember.
Yeah, he's...
Like, when
better
they
than
announced
everyone in
fucking
that movie.
Dave Bautista was going to be Drax, I was like, well, he's big, and, you know, we'll see. And he ended up being the standout. Like, holy shit. Like, this
But
dude...
he was the only person that was questionable in that casting.
Right. I love Dominic Toretto. But
He just says, I am Groot.
right. Well, that was another questionable thing. Was like where, like
They could have cast anybody in that.
right. But that was another questionable, like how effective that was going to be in a film. You know what I mean? Like you read a comic book, it's a little word blurb. You know what I mean? Like that's what it just says. It. You know, someone talks to him and it's just a little bubble. I'm Groot. Like. Whatever. In a film where everyone's speaking back and forth at each other, and then you have this fucking tree person just say, I am Groot over and over and over, for an audience to, like, really sit down and grab hold of that and be like, nope, I'm on board with this, on the fact that, like, this tree's best friend is a talking raccoon, and then the tree talks, but all he says is, I am Groot.
Right.
Like, that was a huge leap of faith, and the audience bit it. So, like, really, Marvel has fucking free reign. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but they're not going to take that with Ant-Man.
They
What
could.
What are they going to do?
I mean, honestly, like, Ant-Man is a cool character. Like, the idea of Ant-Man is silly. Like, the guy grows small. He can communicate with ants. That's his power. He's very, very smart. Well, Hank Pym is very, very, very smart. Like, that was part of his draw as... why they wanted him on the Avengers was because the dude is like on another level smart, like Reed Richards smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he creates Ultron.
Right. But oh fuck, I don't know where I was going with this. Shit. Fuck me. God damn it. I lost my whole train of thought on that one.
Whatever. We got to move on.
All right.
The teaser looks fine. I don't think it's going to be a funny movie.
I think
I think it'll be dry humor, but I think it's going to be very dry. It's not going to be, because they're not going to give you Tony Stark style humor, because then it's going to get compared to Iron Man and then it's going to flop.
Right, but I don't want them to write another you know what I mean? I don't want that to be the character.
That's the problem though, is they're going to run into a lot of issues with casting someone that was a comedian and then running into problems with trying to make it a comedy while also trying to make an imposing threat.
Yeah, but I mean, they do
creating something that's unique.
It can be done
because they only have so many options, and they still have to create characters other than the ones that are created now.
Yeah, I mean,
and they have other weird characters that they have to pitch after Ant-Man and.
Yeah, but
new
like I was saying,
they
have fucking free reign on what weird they
but
can
I'm just
go
saying
to.
they're cutting their rope short with options. And they have created bad films in the past.
Yeah, the second Thor movie was not good.
Yeah. And you know that third one's going to be even worse.
I have, like, such minimal interest in seeing it.
I know.
What is it called? Ragnarok?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care about Thor.
Let's talk about Taken 3.
I don't want to talk about Taken 3.
We have to, because it took the box office reign from The Hobbit. The Hobbit has held the top spot in the box office.
That movie is fucking dog shit.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. But it has held top spot at the box office since it came out. Mm-hmm. Before Christmas.
Okay, well,
and Taken
that's why.
3 took it.
Right, okay, well, that's why. Taken...
Do you know how many movies have come out since then?
Yeah.
And Taken took it.
But here's the deal.
It took it. It had taken it.
I get what you're doing with that. And I'm going to tell you what. The Hobbit has been, like you said, number one for X amount of weeks. At some point, it teeters off. That movie came around at the right time when that movie was teetering off. and it is the new blockbuster to go see, even though
It's garbage, probably.
Well, right. We don't know that for a fact. I can just assume that it's garbage. So I think it was just right time that it came out for how long The Hobbit had been at number one. You know, The Hobbit wasn't going to stay at number one forever. Like, people were going to stop go see.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 11.
Yeah, well, I can imagine it's dog shit. I'm in no way arguing that Taken is going to be a good movie.
Shit.
What?
Rotten Tomatoes gave Paddington a 98%.
Yeah, and you the other day gave me some fucking horseshit like, oh, I bet pretty soon you're going to tell me you want to go see Paddington Bear. And I was like, well, maybe I do want to check it out.
No, it looks so scary.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Taken, I have no interest in it. And, like, it probably came along at the right time that The Hobbit was falling from number one. You know what I mean? Sales were going down on it because people weren't watching it anymore. And that's the new shit. So that's what people go see. But that movie, The Hobbit, fucking dog shit. Taken, probably, I would bet my bottom dollar on fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But if you haven't heard, I made Nick watch it the other day. I watched the funny video from Jimmy Kimmel. Was it Jimmy Kimmel?
What video?
No, it's Conan. It was Conan. Where Maggie Grace, the co-star from...
Right, yes. Yeah, and they...
from the Taken movies. She played Shannon on Lost. She had an ex-boyfriend who didn't treat her so well, and apparently her and Liam Neeson are very close. And so Liam Neeson decided he wanted to prank call this ex-boyfriend as the character.
As Taken.
As the character in Taken.
Because I assume that his name is Taken.
And did like the Taken monologue, but as like a fucking... like
changed it a little
dating
bit.
rendition.
Right. They changed it a little bit to make it contextual for dating.
Yeah, it was very, very funny, and it surprised me that Liam Neeson's so like witty and with it.
I mean, maybe
like,
he's not like super in, like, obviously he's like A-list celebrity, but like he's not super in the.
It just surprises me
public.
that he's not
too very public with his.
That he's not too like uptight to do something like that. You know what I mean?
You got to remember though that he's known her for what is it?
9 years.
Yeah, like 9 years they've been doing those stupid fucking movies.
I think that's
well.
funny.
The first one is like a badass movie. I will make that argument forever. But you know what I mean. You grow very close with people, so it doesn't really shock me.
Yeah. Well, Taken 3 needs to die.
No, the series needs to just lay down.
Yeah. You know what else needs to lay down?
Me.
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, but it's over.
Is it?
I don't know. You tell me. You apparently have you have the ace up your sleeve.
I do. Sons of Anarchy, The Prospect, is an episodic mobile game.
Oh. I thought you were going to fucking tell me something else. What is it? You like try and get into the gang?
It's like a first-person shooter with like
sweet fucking Jesus.
Smoking and motorcycle riding, and it's for your average douche.
All right.
If you
move on from that, I just
should die.
Garbage.
You know, it shouldn't die, and this is great. Speaking of Paul Rudd,
you gotta come up with a new the segue is so weak that you're dragging it through different sections.
I could have segued from Ant-Man to this.
What? You should have rewrote the whole outline.
Yeah, seriously. Wet Hot American Summer.
Right. It's going to Netflix.
It's going to Netflix, which we had talked about on a previous podcast, but it's already begun filming.
Right. Now it went from it was in talks, I think, when we talked about
and now
it.
it's
now
filming.
It's happening. Cool. Badass. Movie's fucking very good.
Very hilarious.
So
can't wait. And it has like the original cast. And
right. So it could be funny. I mean,
it's going to be hilarious. They're
excited.
all so fucking old and hilarious.
All right. So you're excited.
So excited. Joey loves that show. Don't do that. Oh my god.
I know.
All right. You're gonna have to take the reins on this because you were talking to me about it the other day. I wasn't listening. Batman versus.
You don't listen to me. Is that what you're just saying?
Batman versus
Batman versus Superman. Sweet Jesus! Listen, if this breathes new life into the whole thing, okay. Everyone's like, yeah, I already know what you're going to say because this was the internet for like 48 hours.
I like read it, kind of. Just explain it like super fast.
The deal is that rumor has it. a leaked image that is probably fake, along with the rest of this rumor. But if it's not fake, genius. That they are splitting Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice into 2 films. You're but listen, it really, for this one, I'm on board. Normally I'm like, why are they making so many goddamn movies of this? It makes sense. It'll be called like Batman v Superman, like Dawn of the Bat or something like that. I forget what it's called. It's something like that, and people are like, oh, it's fucking called something else of the Bat. Like, and the whole theory behind it is that the first film, whatever of the Bat, is more fixated on the conflict between why Batman is gonna fuck up Superman and their battle and their disagreement and the big fight.
Okay.
The Dark Knight Returns fight.
The verses.
Yeah. The big fight. And then the second movie, The Dawn of Justice, will in theory be them resolving their issue, being like, okay, like, we don't really like each other, but we need to...
Why would it still be called Batman vs Superman? Why would it be split? Theory is flawed.
No, because the idea is that that people are saying, the idea is that it got to a certain point where they decided it would be better off as 2 films after, like, during shooting.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, they got to where they were like, we have enough footage here that we could power out 1 movie now and then finish off this way. And the rumor mill on this thing is that the first film is this year, October.
Okay.
Well, that's insane because the movie's not supposed to come out till 2016. The whole thing wasn't. So if we are going to get the first half this year, the first half, that will give a better story, because how are you supposed to lead me to believe that this like very epic story that no one ever thought would ever come to people never were like, this is never, people that like read comics are like, I would pay any amount of money to see Batman and Superman duke it out in a movie, like in a movie theater. Right. And that will never happen. And now that dream's fucking coming true. That story's so big.
It's like the poster in I Am Legend.
Right. Well, people went fucking bananas with that.
Just a pipe dream.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
That was the original. Well, originally that was the first script. There was like a script that was going around that.
Because it was a pipe dream.
Right. But so for them to tell this story, like the build up to the fight itself, the resolution, the forming of the Justice League, that's so, like, that movie would be fucking 4 or 5 hours long. Like, if done properly, and, it wasn't, you didn't have, like, rushed interactions between Batman and Superman where they're like, you expect me to believe that they're fighting, and then 30 seconds later, they're just like, nope, never mind, we should just shake hands and form the Justice League. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to jam that into a movie? That's garbage. But if they are splitting it up where there is the conflict and then the resolution and the forming of the Justice League, that's awesome. Like, right. That's super cool. And that also then makes their movie lineup to me kind of less weird. Okay. Because as of right now, it's like, why is it Batman v Superman, then what is it, like Suicide Squad, and then maybe one other movie, and then the Justice League movie? Like, that's weird. Like, why? Like, that's a weird... and then after that, it's the standalone movies for each of the characters.
I don't know. I think the whole thing is stupid. Probably going to be bad.
Well, maybe. But if they have a big, like, the Dawn of Justice movie, the second one, if it is 2 parts, the second one is a lot about the forming of the Justice League, then the rest of it kind of makes sense. Or makes more sense. Because they're then allotting, 45 minutes to an hour of a film, like, creating the Justice League. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that it's confirmed, that Wonder Woman is in the movie, and Cyborg is in the movie, and... all these people, it kind of there's more introduction to these characters. They're not like all these characters aren't thrown into this one movie. Now you have 2 movies to spread it out and more time.
That's how they've done it. So
right.
far.
If that's right, and that's
they didn't already fucking
right. And I mean, this is all it's all a rumor at this point. But if that is the case,
I was gonna say, well, what's gonna happen when people find out that this is just a rumor and it's not how it's gonna be? Are people gonna like totally write it off?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still going to go see it. I'm going to go see it and try and go into it with as much of an open mind as I can, because I would like to give it a fair shot.
I'm going to try.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to not go into it. You know what I mean? Like,
can't make any
because then you're no better than the fucking trolls. But yeah, I don't know if they're breaking it up. I think it'll be a better overall experience. Leading into the Justice League. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Well, let's move on then. A couple quick things.
What?
This is great news. Valve went gold.
Beta was last week. Did it just pass, or is it this weekend coming up?
It's this weekend coming up.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and it went gold last week.
Yeah. Badass.
Like Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it comes out February 10th.
I was gonna say it's soon. It's like 3 weeks away.
February 10th.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
That's awesome. Well, I will be streaming a ton of that game.
Yeah.
Like, a ton of it.
And I don't know if I think the beta's only for Xbox One. I don't know.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
If we get the beta this weekend, I'll stream it.
I feel like the beta already happened for PS4.
All right. Well, if
I don't know. I could be wrong.
If it is this weekend and we get it, I'll play it. I'll stream it this weekend.
But that's great because it's one of the games I'm most excited for this year.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's thus far coming out on time. Stop. This is news that you don't care about, but some people might. Scarlett Johansson was cast as the star in the cinematic version of Ghost in the Shell. Which, honey,
and people I heard are not happy about
nobody
this.
is very happy.
But I don't know anything about Ghost in the Shell except that I remember always going to like a video store when I was younger
and seeing
it and being like, this looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
like,
I read Ghost in the Shell when I was a wee one.
Like, is that 12. The one where the cover is like she has like robot on the top of her head and then like obviously because it's an anime or like giant boobs that are then covered by robots?
It's a manga.
What? Sorry.
I'm
sorry if I offended anybody.
It's been made into both, but it started as manga.
But I was right. That's the one?
Yeah, if you're
robot on her head, like up to her eyeballs.
Here, I'll pull one up for you.
And then, of course, like nothing from her mouth down to basically her nipples, and then robots. And by robots, I mean like some sort of like mech body armor-ish type stuff.
It's quite.
But referring to it as robots is better.
It's like this is probably what you saw.
Let me see.
Maybe.
I think that's what I'm thinking of, which is nothing what I described just now.
Or you could have seen that.
Maybe that was, I don't know. I think it was the first one, but that's literally nothing like I just described. But in my head, I'm imagining robots.
Well, there's also, like, there are robots. I mean, that's, like, what it's about.
Right, I understand. But no, it was the first image is the one I was thinking of. But I was just way off.
And then there's, like, this. You could have seen exactly what you're describing.
Yeah.
There's so many different.
All right. But anyway, Scarlett, and no, nobody likes that.
Yeah, people don't like that.
Okay.
I don't care. I love her. She might get naked. That's cool. Yeah,
this is where we need the video podcast where people need to see my reaction to
ScarJo naked. We've seen it before though, so a couple times we've seen her naked. Didn't she get naked in Lucy?
Yeah, but you didn't like see nothing.
Yeah, you saw a titty.
No.
Yeah, you saw titties.
The titty movie was the one where she was a secret alien succubus. That was the titty movie where she gets like full-fledged naked. And then you're thinking about when her private photos leaked on the internet.
Those are great private photos.
Private photos.
She was not ashamed of them either.
Her private photos. Prifos.
Anyway, now this is some news that I find to be some of the most interesting in a long time. GameStop has discovered a method for repairing and then selling.
They've been doing it since like 2009.
What?
This is what you're talking about.
The red ringed
Yeah,
Xbox 360s?
and people are pissed. Yeah, because what they're doing is they're selling broken Xboxes that they've like fixed, but I guess they're not completely fixed or something. I don't know what the deal is exactly, but I guess they've been doing it since like 2009.
And people are what, just finding out about it?
Yeah, like there's like some leak about it just now, and like people have been reaching out to GameStop to get like quotes and stuff, and they won't answer.
That's funny.
Yeah, GameStop's Pryphos were leaked, and it's all downhill for them. What? What was that noise?
The article I read made it seem like they had just discovered it.
Right, I think people just discovered that.
No, made it seem like GameStop had just discovered it.
Then what the fuck are they doing? How did they not know they were fixing red-ringed Xboxes and sending them out?
I don't know. Or the article is incorrect.
I don't know.
Anyway, this week, no games. Or if there are, none that I'm interested in.
Uh-huh.
Next week is
All right,
games.
well, that's a completely different year.
It's not. It's this year.
Nope, new year, next year.
No, it's not.
Yeah, next year's a new year.
Does that happen every week?
It is now.
Anyway, so we got some movies.
Mm-hmm.
Some good ones. There are a lot more movies coming out this week. Some that will not come out on Cape Cod, so I'm not even bothering to discuss them. Some of these won't come out on Cape Cod. And then some that looked like bad, like that new Kevin Hart movie.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Black Hat. That's the hacker movie.
Hackers.
I can't wait to see that. Paddington, which is apparently great according to Rotten Tomatoes.
I wanted to see it, and you said it was weird.
It looks creepy. Escobar, Paradise Lost.
Could that be about Pablo Escobar?
Where in the world is he?
I don't know.
And then American Sniper.
I know.
I know.
I don't know because I haven't seen it, but I feel like he does a good job in that, but I read that it was not the best.
Right. I still want to see it. Actually, I don't know that I do because we saw like a little preview thing that looked like it was gonna make me cry.
Yeah, well, it looks sad. It looks like a depressing ass movie.
I don't like things that are sad.
Yeah, I like to maybe have a good time.
Maybe we'll go see Paddington. No, I want to see that Black Cat movie, and there are still movies in theaters that we should go see. I want to see that movie Wild with Reese.
Reese Witherspoon?
God.
Do you not like me?
No.
Then say goodbye, Shauna.
Goodbye, Shauna.